That's all you need to know.
That was an ode to being confident and humble, and that was an ode to being alive and dead. That was an ode to it.
Like you knew that. That was an ode to being alive and dead. Sound like a trumpet.
You're laughing
like an elephant. Hey guys, welcome back to Full Belly Podcast. My name is Matt. I am your host. Thank you guys so much. Before you do anything, I want to ask you to like, subscribe, follow on whatever platform you are on before we even get into anything. We like to bring on guests here at Full Belly Podcast to talk about how our bellies used to be empty and how we figured out how to fill that up. And I'm not just talking about this. I'm talking about whatever it is, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. We used to be empty. We figured out a way to get our lives back, and so many other people have, and I think that it's important to share that. And so we've got a great guest. Before we even get into our guest or our co-host, Juan, who you guys know, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors of this episode, Zoop. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Zoop. It's cold and flu season, guys, and Zoop is all you need to cure your sicknesses. Zoop has a creative, fun way on how they come up with their name. Obviously, everybody knows what Zoop is. You get soup at Zoop, but they have a really cool name and it's fun. And so I'm going to let Juan talk about Zoop and give a shout out to our sponsors for feeding us all today. They actually wrote a check for $3 million to cover the cost of our guest that came on today. We're grateful to have him. He's very expensive, but we'll get into that. So let's talk about Zoop and give him a quick shout out.
Yeah, man. Yeah, thanks, Matty. First and foremost, guys, I want to give a shout out to Glenda Blagenston. She's the rep over there that cut us a $3 million check to bring on the people. So Glenda Bragans, I appreciate you. The second thing I want to hop into really, really quick, man, it's just the fantastic nature of Zoop in combination with soup. It's not the same, but it's the same. Zoop and soup go together like dookie and poop. And I want you to understand what that means, because every time you take a little bite and a little nibble of that hitter, go get the critter, you're going to let go of some of those things and put them in the earth. You heard me? Now, if you're looking to not pay the bills at the medical and the hospital room, then you get to Zoop and you get down with your doom. You heard me? Monroe, Douglas, Talmadge, Alexis, those are all roads in Toledo. Nothing associated with Zoop, but you should check them out and ask this guy Bob at Broadway and Front Street. He'll take you to the nearest spot. His name is Bob. One more time. If you want to get a hold of him, he will be located at 434343 in bedroom C, associated with chore A. And if I'm going to tell you one thing, I'm going to tell you two things. But the first thing is this: you want to get on the subscription model. You want to pay $9.99 to your best friend so he can sign you up, because you can't do it yourself. And you're going to hit us up at 13W11111. That's where you go. And you're going to pay $9.99 to your best friend. He'll get you in there. Second thing on the list, hit us up. Full belly, Zoops in my belly, poops in the telly. Here we go, smelly, map belly. All right, checking out here. Thanks a lot, Glenda Blegenson. Did I do it? Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you, Juan. Thank you for the scripted. They send us these scripts and we just have to go along with it. And they have a lot of corporate guidelines. And so, that was just read straight from the teleprompter. But we're very, very grateful.
Have you had their alphabet soup? It's all Z's.
Wow.
Dang.
It's Zoop-tastic.
That's why they're called Zoop and not soup, guys. It's because it's just all Z's.
I feel like you should have did that commercial.
It's really all we needed to say. They have a really good alphabet soup. Go get it. Yeah. It's on sale right now. So with that being said, obviously you guys just saw Juan. Juan is our co-host, did the fantastic introduction and sponsorship shout out. And we have Devin in here as well. Devin was actually a guest previously, I don't know, probably 6 months ago. Lots changed in Devin's life. He brought some wonderful information on for us, gave us some gifts in coming in with some, we'll talk about it, with some handwritten notes. Oh my God. Personal life is changing, all for the better. Wonderful things happening Devin, thank you for coming in, man. It's good to see you again.
It's my honor.
It's really, really good to see you again. I appreciate it. I know it's hard to find time to carve out of your life and what you're doing because you're a very busy guy. You wake up, you deal with your family, you do what you need to do, what you're blessed to be able to do, and then you have a period of time to write books that you carve out and make happen. Nobody does that. And then you go to work, right? And then a lot of time. And I probably give a fraction of what you're really, really doing, but I can't wait to get into it and hear about what's changed in the last 6 months. We want to talk about artificial intelligence for a second, though, because you gave us a consultant that you're working with, and we kind of spun off into a whole conversation about AI and how scary it is, but good it is, and underutilized. Josh didn't even want to talk about it. Josh is behind the camera, the one that's zooming in and out on me right now. That's Josh. Oh, good job, Josh. You're looking at the ceiling. Great job. Hopefully we can find an AI videographer to replace Josh. That would be really cool, to just film things correctly. I don't know what he's doing right now, but he's probably messing it up again. Josh is amazing and knows more about AI than anybody I know. He has taught me a lot on how to do things. I use AI to impress people.
Yeah, for sure.
People are actually blown away by a lot of things, a lot of reports, plans, all kinds of stuff that I use AI for. What do you guys think about AI?
There's this ongoing fear, is AI going to take my job? Maybe down the line, but the experts that I've listened to, they say it's not that AI will replace people, it's that people who use AI will replace people that don't.
Okay.
Right? It's a superpower, right, that you can implement into your work life, into your personal life. There's even one of the guys, he started an AI company and uses ChatGPT as a therapist, right? And it's non-judgmental, it's empathetic, and I think it's a beautiful thing. There will be some, aftershock after it fully, reverberates throughout society, but my hunch is that it will be a net positive by far, similar to the advent of the motor vehicle or the internet. And here in this moment, my goal is to use it at least once a day, to use AI once a day, using that slight edge principle to get better and better over time. And hopefully, you're talking about the time crunch, I'd like to add an extra 20 hours of productivity to my whatever hour week, so that, I can have more time with Ezra and Vivian.
Dude, that's a great way of looking at it. Just one time a day. Just familiarize yourself with it one time a day. It's a great goal. It's funny. I went to a strategic planning session with Toledo Fire Department, and a bunch of stakeholders from the community, basically talking about how Toledo Fire can help the community more. Fantastic, even initiative to have a meeting like that. Actually, we met a gentleman from Cherry Street there. I forget his name. Awesome guy, loved him to death. Out from Oak Harbor area, redhead. God, you know who I'm talking.
Was he a staff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Fantastic guy.
All right.
Anyways, we were talking about all of these things and artificial intelligence, and I had mentioned, so we were keeping minutes of the things that the Toledo Fire Department could do differently, and I'm typing these things into keywords on what people are saying, typing it into ChatGPT. And at the end, he's like, so let's come up with a summary statement, a statement of what we need to do to make this department better with deadlines and goals and all this shit. And I'm just like, give us a deadline and goals and blah, 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 blah. Hit send. I'm like, all right, I can save us all 15 minutes right now. I've got it. It's already done. Read it to them, and they were like, dude, they couldn't, but it was so eloquently put together with timelines and shit. They're like, how did you... I'm like, ChatGPT, it's like they're all downloading it. All these people from throughout the community are now downloading it. They hadn't even heard of it. Right. They had no clue what it even was. And so it was like a 4-hour session. That was like an hour into it. So towards the end of the session, this one guy from like the law department in the city came up to me and was like, man, dude, I searched where like the closest continent where you can find capybaras, and I found out that like, I'm like, bro, you can use Google for that, man. Like, this is way more than just like searching for interesting facts. But it was just funny because like, people just really don't like. That's what he used it for. Yeah, dude. It's like searching interesting facts about stuff. It's just use it, man. Yeah. Use it.
And I think that there's going to be people that are just too stubborn to do it, and they're going to be resentful towards people that do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Why not?
Do either of you know the history behind the transition from the horse to the automobile?
No.
Okay, so there were laws that were made to make driving a vehicle almost impossible, where if a horse was coming down the road and you were driving a vehicle, well, it would scare it. So the law in Pennsylvania, I believe it was, is to disassemble the car, put a blanket over it, wait for the horse to go by, and then you can reassemble your car. Like, people didn't want to change. They're so why would we got that? These horses are perfectly fine. And my intuition into this is that's what's happening here. People are saying, hey,
it's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But eventually we're just gonna be like, this is the new normal.
It is. Yeah. People will get used to it. It is what it is. Like, it will just be a new thing. It'll be like texting, right? Like, think about, remember T9 Word?
Yeah.
Remember T9 Word, bro? Texting on an actual keypad.
Yeah.
And now we can literally speak to text. And so many people use it, or just normal texting on a keypad that's not T9 Word.
Yeah.
It evolves, something that a lot of people don't want to do. Just things change, man.
Yeah.
Think about emails.
Honestly, too, dude, like, I mean, you can't take my job because I love people.
Say that.
First of all, I do people. You know what I mean? And so it's like, well, whatever. You know what I mean? Secondly, like, you just can't do it because I'm willing to work. I'm willing to work, but when it's like, oh, it's going to remove people, like, well, what I do is people.
Right. Well, and to take it a step further, I don't care how complex or sophisticated AI ever becomes, it'll never be able to help you stay sober. Like, like a fellow alcoholic or addict will be able to help me or you stay sober, you know? So I feel really good in my position, because that's what we do. We help people, and this will help people, but never like we do.
There's a company that their job is making robots that people say, oh, you're taking jobs, and in their headline or their tagline, it says making robots that take the dirty, boring, dangerous jobs. All right. So, I mean, maybe there's some of that here at Team Recovery, but it's really that boring, dull work, which is going to allow us not to be less human, to be more human, to have more time for relationship and creativity.
Perspective.
Yeah.
Right. We can be afraid of this thing and stay away from it, or we can dive all in, utilize it for what it's good at, and we will literally find out that we have 3 extra hours a day because there's only 24 of them.
Yeah, dude.
And I'll take every second I can get.
For sure.
Me too.
So, Devin, you're here again. Tell us about your life and how it's changing, man. Lots of good stuff.
So I celebrated 2 years clean and sober.
I love that, dude.
This is a new hallmark. 2 years free from the hospital. Not a single visit to the psych ward. And I've never been locked anywhere. In the last, I mean, it's like it's a new reality. There's days that I walk around this house that I bought, and it's like, what's going on? Is this real? How did I get here?
Can I pause just for 1 second, dude? So I hear you. I look at what you're doing, all the other things that you're going to talk about, and I want to get this out before you tell us all the other things. I look at what you're doing in your professional career and where you're at. I just listen to you speak, even if I didn't know who you are, just listening to your speak and everything that you're doing in your life. Don't take this the wrong way, because I'm not minimizing 2 years, but the fact that you've gotten all of this done in 2 years, I hear you and I'm like, this dude's got 20 years sober. This is somebody that's been around doing shit for a long time. You are an anomaly, brother. I don't know if you know that or if you realize that, and like, not in a way that let's get big headed or anything, but God, man, I wish everybody could tap into the energy and the zest for life that you are doing this at an incredible pace, catching up on lost time, lost dreams awaken, new opportunities arise. You're doing things that, man, like, can everybody do this? Can everybody do it?
So one of the phrases I live by is be obsessed or be average. Right. That's Grant Cardone. And I think about the gift of addiction, the gift of different mental health diagnosis. And I almost think of it as like, if you got a weapon for Christmas, you would probably hurt yourself. I definitely hurt myself on accident, but then it's also, it's a tool. It's something that we can use and leverage. So, the drive, the constant hunger, it's a fire that I've built up into this raging inferno that, I mean, there's been times when I'm like, you know what? I just want to be average. I'm okay with mediocrity. And it lasts about 3 days before I snap. And I'm like, nope, I've got to achieve greatness. sometimes I get embarrassed of it, but it's who I am, right? It's just wired into my DNA, and when I've tried not to go so hard, it just hasn't happened.
Yeah.
And then the way that it works is it's just a love of learning and a constant need to do something useful. So sometimes that's cleaning out the cat box and taking out the trash, right? That's useful. And then sometimes it's listening to an audiobook on the way to work. But ultimately, it comes down to this idea, this why, this deep purpose that I just want to be a part of. And it's that every suffering addict or person in poverty or living with trauma and enduring horrible things, that if we as a species could help enough people, and those people could help enough people, like exactly what's happening here in this building, that eventually that's not going to happen anymore. And anytime I start to slack off or get discouraged, I have that bright horizon in my mind, and it gives me the strength to move forward.
I love that so much. I feel like we can relate to that. I feel like everybody in this room can relate to that
For sure.
to an extent. So, bought a house, 2 years sober. What else?
Birth of my daughter.
Hello.
Hey.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
What's her name?
Her name is Vivian.
Oh my God, what a beautiful name.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that name.
My wife picks out the name. She's pretty good at it.
Do you know the meaning of that name?
It means full of life.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. I love that. I love that. We were considering naming our daughter Vivian. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Beautiful name.
Yeah.
Full of life.
Yeah.
Just like her dad. Hey. You've got a new daughter. You have 2 years sober. You're in your home. What else? There's more.
I have launched a digital marketing company for small businesses so that they can get to the next level. Right. We talk about this online world and how scary and intimidating it can be. But really that's my new big project, is that we have, so many, Toledo is so entrepreneurial, right? There's so many people in poverty, returning citizens, people who weren't given a chance, who don't want to go the conventional route, and they've started a business and it's getting along. And so my goal is really to partner with them and help them get to that their own greatness.
Yeah. That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing. When did you start that?
So I've been planning it for about the last 2 or 3 months, and now it's really starting to hit traction, and we have our first client and hoping to get a lot more.
Hey, boy. What?
That's so cool, dude.
Go ahead, bro.
I love that. And you wrote a damn book.
Man.
Yeah.
You wrote a book, bro. Published, self-published, available on Amazon.
Wrote a book.
And spent $0 on it. Time, commitment, dedication, resilience.
Come on, dude.
Not saying no. You know how many people say I'm going to write a book and never write a book? You know how many people say that?
Yeah.
A lot.
A lot, bro. I don't know what the number is, but it's a freaking lot. We could probably ask ChatGPT how many people say that.
You know why I don't
give us an exact number.
Say I'm going to write a book? Because I'm not ready to write a book. And I don't like, dude, that's nuts.
But how much would you love to have a book?
I would love to. I'm not willing to do the work.
It's a lot, bro.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
You know what I mean?
And you're doing it.
Yeah.
Tell us about the book, man.
So I think I mentioned this last podcast. I've relapsed over 25 times. Right. It was over and over. And every time I learned a little something, but it never quite worked. And then this time I'm doing a lot of things differently, and each one of them is in that book. So it starts off, how did we get here? Right. How did we get into this mess of addiction? Looking at the psychology of it, the neuroscience, and then how do we get out? Right. And so there we apply a lot of personal growth, a lot more psychology and neuroscience, and then sound recovery principles. Right. There's giants who have gone before me, and I do my best to stand on their shoulders. And so now we're getting out, right. That whole person wellness concept, not just focusing on abstinence, but having positive social relationships and, all the other things, the exercise, the spirituality, the purpose, the reason for living. And then, okay, so now we're picking up some sober time. How do we not go back?
Yeah.
Right. And that's something that I had to put in there, because it's easy to do it for a little while, but when that long-term continuous sobriety, I mean, that's where the gold is. That's where we get the momentum. And then after we talk about that, it's what lies ahead, right? You're sober. Now what?
That's the special sauce, bro.
Yeah.
That's the McDonald's. That's the Big Mac sauce.
It's said early in the book, now I want you to close your eyes and imagine 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 years away. What do you want your life to look like? It said in there. I came across that. Talking to the person in a detox.
Yeah.
It seemed like that's what you were aiming at, right? So like you're having a hard day. Take a moment. Imagine 1 year from now.
I like that. I like that you did it for somebody that's in recovery. And you had mentioned that the goal, or one of the goals of the book, is to make this a readable thing for somebody, that is digestible for somebody in early recovery, so that as they're potentially in treatment or whatever it might be, that they're finished with this book by the time that they're done with treatment.
That's right.
And to align something intentionally with content in there to make sense along that journey is very, very, that's a smart structure of a book. So I'm excited to read it. I'm excited to read it, and who knows, maybe this is something that, man, I can just see big things for it. I can see big things for it. That's really cool. That's really, really cool. What's your favorite part about the book? If you could, I mean, I'm sure a really tough question.
So there was something that dawned on me while I was writing, and it's called the cycle of recovery. And so I went into Canva and used a little bit of magic to create this graphic. But the cycle is that the first step is to bravely decide to live a sober life. Right? Like, I mean, it takes some courage to say, this thing that I've relied on for years, for decades, I'm going to give it up. And then to make a series of positive choices. Right. So if we quit using drugs and then stay in the same environment and don't start getting traction in our life, it doesn't get, but when we start making new friends, when we start making new decisions, we feel better about ourselves and our life. Right. And then when we feel better about ourselves and our life, we decrease the need or the desire for drugs and alcohol, which makes it easier to bravely decide to live a sober life. And it's just this virtuous cycle that leads to.
Dude, we say that all the time here, is once you've made that decision, fully conceded to our innermost selves that we cannot successfully use these things, how do we then not just not use drugs and alcohol? How do we make our lives so good that the thought of using drugs and alcohol doesn't make sense anymore?
Right.
Yeah.
I love my life so much. Why would I go do what I know wants to kill me?
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's literally what we talk about all the time here.
Yeah.
Is we don't just want to put people in groups. We don't just want to set people down and do this traditional, very trite, antiquated way of rendering treatment to somebody. We need to do something different.
Right.
We talk about a new approach to no problem all the time. Let's actually heal the whole person.
Yeah.
The whole, and all the components of their life, because every single one is different. And so by sitting somebody in a group the way that treatment centers used to do it, and say, let's just talk to everybody. Now let's move them to another room and talk to everybody. Now let's move them all to another room and talk to them again. That is an unfair shot at these.
Yeah.
That's unfair. Like, you wouldn't, you can't just do that in a dentist office, right? I have a cavity in this tooth.
Right.
The next person that comes in shouldn't just get a filling in the same tooth, bro. They got a fucking problem in the other tooth. So why is it not any different in treatment? And so that's what we're talking about here, man. Like, looking at this person needs parenting skills, or else they're going to lose their fucking kids. This person doesn't have any kids. Let's talk about how to grow up and get a job. You know, every single person's different. So working with each individual, building that life to be so good. I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. I cannot say I love that enough.
That's crazy, because remember the group we ran together, and you said, tell me something about you. Tell me something about your life. And you were like, why did everybody choose something negative?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, and it's like, I didn't ask you to tell me about something bad. I just asked you to tell me about something. And you chose bad, you know, and like listening to that process, like you're talking about, like giving somebody some substance to grab onto, right? Some kind of value, some kind of feeling of worthiness, something to propel them, because so many people are stuck in the cycle of what has happened in a negative way that they can't even grab onto what's possible in a positive way.
Yes.
You know, and so like hearing you just like explain the way you did, like, yo, it's so important. If you want to get rid of your reservations, right? The reservation is like not just about using, like I have a reservation to use. I have a reservation to not commit to a lifestyle change. So I need to understand like there is value ahead of me. You know, and just hearing you express what you express, like we need to place value in their lives right away, right away.
And you know, with the law of the Hermetic law, as within, so without. I think we discussed this last time as well. You know, to change that outer life, we also have to change the inner life.
Absolutely.
And so it actually doesn't surprise me when you said everybody picks something negative,
Right?
Because I know for me, when I was fresh, you know, in recovery or still in addiction, there was that toxicity, that gnawing negativity, and even I got sick of it. You know,
Of course.
And so some other things that we discuss are, you know, discipline, integrity, honesty, right? Connection, you know, building a good friendship, not just with, you know, people in recovery, but heck, join a group, join a disc golf league, you know, do something, just have a fun life and do everything you can to make it the best one.
Well, everybody, it seems like, you know, the easy way is to find an external factor to make me feel good. You know what I mean? To take care of my internal problems, you know, and like my girlfriend cheats on me, right? I want to still be with her. And so we start working it out, but I want her to change who she is to help me change how I feel. And then I hold on to my trust issue for 4 years and I never really get better. You know what I mean? It's like, well, you said you were going to do this or whatever it is. And like, no. Like I have to change if I'm willing to do that, you know, and it's everything that way. External motivators and factors in recovery, especially. I need to get a pair of shoes. I don't got shoes. I feel like shit about me, so I can't recover. You know, I don't got, which is, I understand, you know, I need more money. I need a job. I need a car. I need my kids back in my life. I need all these things and I get all these things, but the lifestyle I was living, I didn't have character. So I couldn't hold to things. I didn't have integrity. I can't treat valuable things with poor character and expect to keep it.
Well, and look at what I need.
Right.
I need shoes. I need my kids. Do your kids need you though?
Right.
Do they want you? Right. Does your mom want you back in the house?
Yeah.
What does everybody else need and want? Why are you still thinking about yourself so much? Yeah. You mentioned something about a feeling of value, right? Like, dude, this is why I think it worked for us early on.
Usefulness,
bro. We got to work, and the like for even still today, but even like more so 10 years ago, 8 years ago when we got started, people would be like, nah, you got to have a year clean before you can help someone else. Nah, I want you to work the steps before you really get in and start. You got to fill your own cup before you start helping other people. And I get that. Trust me. I understand the concept behind it. But I will tell you that if we had not gotten active as quick as we had, I mean, we're talking about on fucking day 8 of getting out of detox and being in a sober living house and getting active right away, bro, being of service. And it might have been so stupid, but the intention was good. Yeah. And I don't think that I would be here today if it weren't for that initial getting active and being of service, getting outside of that what do I need? It's not about what I need, bro. I need to put that on the back burner for a minute and start learning, practicing, because it's something we need to get used to, practicing thinking of other people first, practicing that. That takes time, dude.
It's inherent value. You know what I mean? Like I inherently feel worthy as I'm doing things that are useful, you know, for other people, you know. I didn't value myself. So,
and I talk about that a lot in here as well. There's entire sections dedicated to purpose, right? Because as you mentioned, if we are self-absorbed, it's like a star that collapses on itself, creates a black hole, and just becomes this vacuum that wants nothing but drugs and alcohol and sex and anything that'll numb that pain. Yeah. But when we start looking outside of ourselves, all right, it's like Picasso said, the meaning of life is to discover your gift, and the purpose of life is to give it away. Right. So For some of us, that's going to be helping other addicts. For other people, it could be folks with autism or the criminal justice system. But whatever it is, we have to find that for ourselves. And that's when our life becomes full.
I love that. I like to translate it in my mind to just having a diverse portfolio, right? Yeah. Like we talk about like investments and money management and all this stuff. It's like, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. Mm-hmm. I don't want to put all my finances into this one stock. What if it tanks? Yep. You know, some more conservative stocks, some really aggressive ones, some long-term, some short-term, some real estate, whatever it might be, right? Like let's have a little bit all over the place. Yeah. That way we get to learn about a lot of things and we get to grow in different areas and see what's working and what's not. That's what you're talking about.
I'm going to have to quote you and put that right back in.
Put it in there, bro. Like, we need a diverse portfolio. Like that phrase is what it is because it's wise, because it makes sense, because it typically works out, as opposed to the other end, which is just, dude, I was talking about it today. We're a Medicaid treatment center. What if the government shuts down?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, these are all things that it's like, okay, well then the wise thing to do would be as a business to think about how to accept other forms of payment, grants, commercial insurance, Medicare, self-pay, whatever it might be. If you just have all your eggs in one basket, you never know what can happen, dude. Right. You never know what could happen. That shit could all go away like that.
Truly.
Diverse portfolio, life, recovery.
I've got some questions for you too.
Dude, you literally just read my mind. And did you know that you were going to have questions?
I mean, I looked it up on ChatGPT, so.
Well, no, I'm saying, did you know that that's how we're doing the podcast now? Is that we're structuring it in a way that the last 15 minutes, did ChatGPT really tell you that?
Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't.
Okay, that doesn't matter, because that's the segment that we're going into with 15 minutes left is you ask us questions.
All right. So I got one for you and one for you, Matt. Who wants to go first?
Whatever. Say, what's an animal word? Name an animal.
Squirrels.
You're it.
What? How does what? All right. I guess. What? The animal? How did the squirrels make me go first?
Because I thought of a squirrel somewhere in there and it was meant for you.
Matt Bell.
Makes sense.
Team Recovery offers a new approach to an old problem.
Yeah.
Right. So, and things are changing. Things are changing quick in 2023.
Yeah.
Where do you see the future of substance use and mental health treatment going?
Ours or just in general?
Both, if you like.
Very, very, okay. It's a very long-winded question or answer, I should say. So I guess just to summarize it, I don't care if it's a year from now, 10 years from now, 30 years from now. There's a couple of things that I know. I know that in this part of Ohio, when people think about where should I send my loved one for treatment, I want people to think of the agency that's red and black. I want people to see colors and automatically associate that with Team Recovery. I want people to see our logo and know that that is a quality place. I want people to not even think twice about where they should send their loved ones, even if there's 20 more options, right? Like I equate it to like Apple. Like, you see a freaking piece of fruit with a bite taken out of it, you know that's just like the top tier shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the best. It's advanced. It's moving forward. It's strong. It's a strong company in every way, shape, and form. And so, I want to be known as that. I want to be known as that long term. Like, truly, it's going to be something that when I'm dead and gone, so it will go on for generations and generations. That is my long-term goal for Team Recovery, is to make this place a staple in the Toledo community in Northwest Ohio. I don't know what that looks like. I wrestle with this a lot. In your book, it says, picture your life in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. I remember that was an assignment for me in treatment in PHP. Yep. And someone asked me to do that. And I said, I honestly can't do this, because whatever I put on there, I'm going to be selling myself short. I don't want to put what I want in 3 years, because I can have 10 times that if I put something on there. I really don't like that shit. She's like, well, you have to do it. I'm like, no, I don't. I can't. Because whatever I put on there, I'm selling myself short. So it's really tough for me to say where Team Recovery is going to be. All I know is I want us to be the best at whatever we're doing. Yeah. And if it means this building right here is all we will ever be able to do, if we are at 99% quality, I'll never open up another building. We have to be at 100%. Then we can open up location number 2. And if the goal is to have location number 3 in 10 months, damn it, if a location 1 and location 2 are not at 100%, we are not opening location number 3. So our shit will be tight. Our shit will be good. I eventually want to be able to offer services to anybody that needs it in the realm of addiction and mental health. Adolescents, pregnant women, OTPs, primary mental health, rural communities, inner city. I want to be able to do it all. But we have to be good at what we do before we spread ourselves too thin, because I've seen organizations spread themselves too thin. People get lost. And when people get lost, we're talking about life and death.
Yep.
Something I will never jeopardize the quality. So that's for team recovery. For in general, man, I just hope that it continues to move forward. I think that there's like a lot of really good progress in this space. I think that government gets involved too much sometimes. I hope that it can kind of start to leave the momentum and the direction that things are going in the hands of the professionals and the people that like have lived experience. I think that is arguably the most powerful thing that can be done, is to let us determine where this needs to go. And I'm not saying just like free reign, right? I'm talking about some really good people that are trusted and tried and true in this area, and stop leaving it up to so much government and politics and relationships and all the bullshit, like stop throwing band-aids at problems. Let's talk about what's actually going to work long-term. And so stigma is reducing, harm reduction is increasing. These are all really, really good things. I just hope that the momentum continues to go forward. Accessibility continues to increase, and that whoever's out there, I will say one thing. I think that regulations need to be in place more to keep not good people out of this shit. Dude, if your intentions are not to help people first and foremost, you need to stop doing this. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. We don't need any of that shit. So, and there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that just people just don't care. It's a business.
Yep.
So you got to go.
Squirrels. Juan Duarte.
Yeah, what up, dude? Yeah.
So in addiction, I think we weren't serious about anything except drugs and alcohol, right? And then at least for me, sometimes in recovery, I can get a little bit too serious, right? And forget to have fun. Juan, you are a very fun, light-hearted person, and I admire it, and I hope that I can train myself to your level of levity. Can you tell us about the importance of humor and having fun in recovery?
Oh man, dude, the importance of it. I mean, life's serious, though, man. It's serious. It's serious business. It's seriously important to have fun. You know what I mean? It's seriously important to be focused. It's seriously important to understand that our time here is limited, and to treat it as such. So laughter doesn't come before or after sadness for me. It doesn't. I don't look at laughter and say and joy and fun and say that's at the top of my priority list. It's just one of the things that just so happens to be a result of living an aligned life. So I don't necessarily think that people should prioritize. I'm not going to put that weight on myself to prioritize me to be any other way than a good human being. Yeah. And I believe that by being a good human being, I will receive the experience that I desire most.
It's like a byproduct.
It's a byproduct, man. I feel like happiness is a child's dream. I feel like children get to pursue and chase happiness. They get to experience happiness because they don't have responsibilities. They get to experience and have the freedom to follow their imagination and their creativity as a grown man and as a responsible member of society, trying to create something better for my children and for other people's kids. Happiness should not be my destination. It should be usefulness. And when I put myself in that heart posture, I experience a lot more moments of happiness, but I'm also not disappointed when I don't.
Oh my God.
So
I could listen to you forever, bro.
So it's it's not like, hey, this is a nice big dessert, right? And I don't have to. It's like, no, you need the broccoli, you need the potatoes, and then that just comes with it.
Yeah, man. I think our society pursues positivity in a way that can be extremely unhealthy, because when negativity or hardship comes, they feel like they're doing something wrong, right? No bad vibes, none of this shit, right? And it's like, yo, if you don't understand how to relate with your bad vibes, how are you really ever going to connect with anybody that's experiencing hardship? And if you're here called to like walk with people that are ailed and ill and suffering and struggling, then you need to understand what it means to feel pain. I'm not here. It's like, when people come around with me with bad energy, I'm an alchemist. I'm the grand alchemist. Like invitation accepted, right? Like, what am I supposed to do? Run from your bad vibes and allow your authority and your creation to supersede my goodness? Fuck that. No, I'm going to step right into whatever it is that you're experiencing and tell you what good is all about.
Oh my gosh.
And sometimes that includes things that people associate with bad, right? Like crying, being angry. How do I express what I'm experiencing and feeling in a way that does not harm other people and does not harm myself? How can I tell you I'm pissed off without making you feel like you're less than me or less than anything else, that we are just trying to figure out how to be in a relationship together?
Hey.
Anger is not something that I avoid, because it's not something that I want to, that I use to push people away with,
Brother, that's so good. The magic in life that you're looking for is in the things that you're avoiding.
I'm telling you, bro. And as a father, I mean, I talked to you a lot about it. I'm a full-time single father, dude. Like, I didn't get done till 10:30 last night. Like, I had no time. I got done. I went to a football game in Findlay. Me and Matt grinded all day long. I made 30 phone calls after our day because we couldn't look at our phones. I get to my son's game. They get smashed. He's in a bad mood. I drive home, make some more calls, go home, cook dinner, do some laundry, do all these things, right? Like, where in that equation is Juan getting to choose what I think I would want to do? There was nowhere, right? 10:30 came around. I put on some music, read a book, and I said, God, I'm a fucking great dad, right? Like, I'm a good dad, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, nobody watched me. I didn't tell anybody I was going to the game or what the experience was. Like, I want to bring value to the world. And because of that, I feel valuable, bro. I want to bring value.
Listen, man, when you know what you know, you know what you know.
No.
But if you don't know what you know,
you ain't gonna know nothing about what you know.
And when you're up here, where are you at?
You're gonna be down there.
But if you're up here and you're down there, where are you going?
All the way there.
You're there already.
You're already there.
You're already there.
Already there.
So where are you where have you been?
I've always been here.
You've been here.
I've been here.
You know what you know.
Yeah.
But if you don't know what you know, then you can't really know what you don't know.
And you can't do what you got to do.
And when you do what you got to do,
you know what you know.
Yo, I have one last request. And
you feel me? You feel me, bro?
This is for me. This is for me, but it's also for our audience. So Elie Wiesel, the author of Man's Search for Meaning, Holocaust survivor, he said that there's a Statue of Liberty on the East Coast, but what is liberty without responsibility? All right, we need a statue of responsibility on the West Coast in LA. Juan Duarte, if there was a statue of liberty, a statue of responsibility on the West Coast, could you do the pose for us?
Oh, come on, boy. It'd be here. It'd be here. It'd be here.
Up here?
It'd be here.
With it like a pledge?
It'd be here.
Oh, with the two fingers.
Two fingers.
Right hand on your heart, two fingers up.
Underneath your heart.
What's your face look like? You look like you're happy, but you got to poop at the same time.
You want to know something about what you just said, though? Why me and Matt are magic together? So civic duty is important. It's important. Personal responsibility are important. My dear friend reminds me to be ambitious and to chase civic duty. And I hope, in a lot of times, many ways, from a personal side, I try to remind him to just be human. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So the combination of me and him, like what it does is it tempers my ambition to like avoid civic duty and be like on the run and just be human. You know what I mean? Because I have more in me. And for him, I feel like over the years, it's been like, hey, remember, be a human. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you know, it's a beautiful thing, you know, but my personal slogan is civic duty comes after personal responsibility. And if your civic duty is superseding your personal responsibilities, then you are just an egocentric person that's trying to say that you help people. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't really want to help people. You're helping yourself because you feel like shit and you're leaving everything that loves you behind. And that's not right.
That's a bad place to be.
It's a bad place to be. And that's what you were talking about earlier. If that's you and you're in this field, you need to fucking rethink about what you're doing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If you're trying to form your identity on other people's weaknesses because you're better and you're doing good, there's a problem there.
Yeah. We see a lot of people like that.
Yeah, man. You can take all this away from me, bro, and I'm going to still be a good human that's going to open doors, help people, and love people. Mm-hmm. Take my title, take my status, take my job description, take my responsibility away from this building, and I'm still going to be the same Juan Duarte that's a part of Team Recovery in my heart that I am sitting here right now.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I know that. That's so true, too. And
that's how we get down.
There are very few people like that. One or two, baby.
One or two, dog.
One or two.
Yeah.
Devin, I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you for being here. I feel like we could just do a podcast with Devin every week and just have like literally the most rich conversations.
Yeah.
It's like cheesecake with you, dude. You're a slice of cheesecake. You're just rich.
Yeah. I would be delighted to come back anytime.
We'll do that. We'll make that happen, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody that's watched today. Amazing episode. If you found value in this, please make sure that you're sharing this with somebody else. I know that you did find value because I did. And so if you haven't already, like, subscribe, follow, please make sure that you call us 419-561-LIFE. We have a hotline for whatever you might need, whether you need treatment, if you just need somebody to listen, or if you need advice on where else to go, whether that's with us or somebody else. That's what we want to do on this hotline, 419-561-LIFE. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for watching. I appreciate my guests and the co-hosts and everybody behind the scenes. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you.